Hello and welcome to this broadcast of this WNBL matchup of the Manchester Mystics against the Brent Bulls. We're here live from the Manchester Basketball Centre, Wally Range High School. My name's Isha Nai. I'm here with Hannah Alty. Hannah, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks, Isha. How are you?
I'm good. I mean, we're here, so yeah, it's good. Okay. So we're here today to see the Manchester Mystics face the Brent Bulls. Let's just talk about Brent Bulls first because, I mean, only a couple of weeks ago, we were literally here at the National Basketball Performance Centre talking about their game against Ipswich for the National Cup final. What an interesting game that was.
It was very interesting. You know, Brent really struggled that game. They struggled the whole game. There was a lot of foul trouble and they just could not buy a basket. They really couldn't score that game. So fingers crossed, we're in for a better performance today.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, touch wood. But that Brent game, I feel like that cup final wasn't necessarily a true reflection of what that Brent team are like, because yes, they were playing Ipswich. Ipswich, as we know, are quite a high-scoring team. They're always in contenders for winning the league, but Brent actually beat them in the league last time, didn't they? So that was interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you're right. It wasn't a true reflection of the team. You know, as we were watching the game, everyone was kind of sat there waiting for Brent to pop off, but it just never happened. And, you know, it can. On a final day, anything can happen. So I'm hoping that they've gone back to the drawing board and they've had a kind of look at what they can do, and they're just going to come back now even stronger and even bigger.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so Brent in the league, they're actually tied for first place with Ipswich and Colo, I believe. Might be wrong, might be mistaken. Anyway, they're high up, that's what we do know. Mystics are more mid-table. What do you think of this Mystics team first of all? I mean, we both have experience within the team. What do you think they're like this season?
I think they've been doing great. You know, they've had ups and downs, but I think they've remained consistent. You know, especially last week where they had their performance against Ipswich and they kept Ipswich to 55 points. It was a 9-point win to Ipswich, which, you know, against a team like them is really, really good and really positive. So I think they can work on that. I just think for them, though, it's all about their defensive strategy as a unit. That's something that they really have to focus on. And for them, the points then will follow.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you mentioned that Ipswich game last weekend. It was kind of, don't know if anyone's ever used this word to describe a game, but it was a positive win for the Mystics. Positive loss for the Mystics, because yes, they lost, but as you said, Ipswich, who average like 80, 85 points a game, they managed to limit them to 55 points, which is, I mean, it's a testament to Manchester's defence. And we know a lot of teams say it when they come up and play Manchester, they're an aggressive team, they hate coming and playing them at home. They're also ranked one of like first or second. They're ranked highly on defensive rating. So how do you think Brent are going to be able to put up with that today?
I mean, you know, I think, you know, last season it was known amongst those top tier teams in the league that Manchester is a dangerous place to come. You know, when we are on our home court, it's dangerous. You know, we will perform and we will put our feet out there. So I think for Brent today, especially kind of looking at their roster, they're not looking that heavy today. I think there's a couple of players missing. Something today is that they're going to have to focus on is just kind of trying to keep up and really making sure that they come out aggressive straight away.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Brent are quite a physical team, as we say, but surely that drive all the way up from London to Manchester has got to have some sort of impact on them. I mean, how do you think looking at the physicality of that Brent team and then looking at our Manchester team, how do you think that's going to match up?
I do think that is going to be a struggle for Manchester today. You know, Brent have got a roster full of really strong, really tall, really built players. And, you know, you've got Lindsay Cleary, Vanessa Accra, and Millie Watkins, who are so tough. I mean, me and you again, we've played against them. We know what they're like. They'll be tough underneath the basket, tough against the boards, boxing out, and something that Manchester are going to really have to look at. You know, we've got Nat Furtado today, who's going to be able to step up. But then I think when you look at the rest of the bench, there is going to be a bit of a struggle with who can match up physically against Brent.
Yeah, definitely be a match-up kind of that comes down to physicality. I mean, taking a look at the Mystics, who are the key players there? I mean, obviously we've got Rahani Khalil, Irene Aboado, Natalie Furtado. What do you think of them players? Is there anyone else who kind of stands out? What are your thoughts on Manchester's team today?
I think, you know, for Manchester, especially after last week, there wasn't anybody that kind of went off with the biggest scoring run. So I really am looking today for Rahana, Irene, Michelle and Ellie Costa. Also, one of them needs to come out today and really have a bit of a scoring run because I think that was what was lacking last week. Sometimes those players, when they do get into a run, it then helps uplift the rest of the team. And I think that's something that Manchester rely on maybe a little bit too much, but I think it's something that they really have to kind of really bring forth today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Ellie Costa did get 21 points last weekend.
Yeah.
So it was good, but as you say, there's just sometimes we can't always rely on that single person. There needs to be some sort of support. So hopefully we'll see a good game today. There's, I'm Shania, that's Hannah Olty. We're going to go over to Kaz Bullock and Hannah Olty now, take you through the game, commentate, have fun with the game, Hannah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Hannah. Thanks, Isha. Thanks, Hannah. Ooh, that's loud. So we're just a couple of seconds away from tip-off. You've made it back around here, Hannah.
I did. I ran. Why am I always sprinting?
You're the athlete. You know, you were playing Division 1 last time.
Not anymore.
So as we get ready for tip-off, starting for the Brent Bulls, it will be Vanessa Accra, Rocky Davids, Eleanor Bishop, Millie Watkins and Lindsay Cleary. And for the Manchester Mystics, Ellie Costa, Michelle Ortega, Irina Boado, Nat Furtado and Rahana Khalil. And Hannah, you both mentioned it just there in the pre-game, but a really tough fought game for the Mystics last week against top of the table Ipswich, who have just won probably about 20 minutes ago against Cola, which puts them 2 points ahead of Brent and Cola at the moment. So a win today for Brent means they then go tied top with Ipswich.
Yeah. I mean, I think for today for Brent, this is an important game. You know, I think, like we said, back off after the National Cup, and they did get a win last week against ARU, but I think, you know, this is now where they need to start chipping away at that lead between themselves and Ipswich.
And it's that time of the season where playoff seeding, standings start to matter. So Manchester in 7th, 7 wins and 9 losses. Last year they were 8 and 14. So obviously the goal for Rob Fairley and team will be to try and go one better or two better than that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we missed out on a playoff spot last year by one game. It was the last game of the season against ARU that we needed to kind of focus on in order to get that 8th spot. Unfortunately, we missed out on that. But I think this year, you know, I know, speaking to Rob myself, that not making playoffs is not an option this year. It's something that's kind of our goal and what we're striving for this season.
And just behind Manchester in 8th place are the Worcester Wolves. They'll be playing against the Reading Rockets tomorrow. So it's all to play for today, as jumping for the tip, it will be Boado and Cleary. And Boado tips it, but into the hands of Brent, and it will be first possession to the Bulls. Davids finds Cleary in the corner. That one doesn't go, but Lindsay Cleary, a player, a new addition to this Brent Bulls squad, and she's been, it's almost unfair to add her into this Brent squad, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, sadly, she didn't really get much chance to perform in the National Cup. She did get in foul trouble, so fingers crossed, you know, she can keep discipline today and get some decent court time.
As Ortega's shot bounces about but won't drop, and a collision on the floor, but Watkins and Furtado will just jump back up again.
As they do.
And Cleary gets the first point to the game for the Bulls. And Lindsay Cleary, 18.7 points per game, 9.8 rebounds for Brent this season. She's as you said, we didn't really see her get going too much because of the foul trouble in the National Cup final, but for anyone that's not seen her play before, Costa's 3 is nothing but net from the corner. Didn't even jump for that one.
No, she didn't. That's her spot, you know. One Mystics can really move the ball well against the zone, and they find one of the twins open, it's game.
As Brent go up one, but Lindsay Cleary, as I said, we didn't see her get going. Irina Boado puts it in for the Mystics. And we will finish talking about Lindsay Cleary because she's a really effective scorer, but also her rebounding.
Yeah.
And if anyone's not seen her before, she rebounds so effectively. She like reads the bounce of the ball. She positions herself really well under the basket.
She's a nightmare person to guard, to try and box out, because she just comes out of nowhere.
And Vanessa Accra all alone under the basket. Vanessa Accra, a familiar name for fans of Manchester basketball, was playing with the WBBL Manchester Met Mystics. As Irina Boado from the corners, too strong. Ball's out of bounds, but going to stay with the Mystics as last touch Brent. And it's an interesting matchup, this, isn't it, Hannah? So Brent, a more veteran, experienced team than the Manchester Mystics team.
Yeah, they definitely are. You know, Manchester are known for being a younger development squad, with the likes of Rahana and Nat and Remy just being there as kind of those veteran leaderships, but really showcasing the young talent that we have on the team. So I think it's always interesting to see when we come up against those older teams.
And it's a lot of the time it's a case of you have to be able to play. Oh, it's Rahana Khalil nets a 3. And if Rahana gets going from behind the arc, it's going to be a really... Oh, it was a long two,
a long two, sadly.
Well, regardless, if she gets going anyway, it's going to be a great game as Accra banks it in. And Vanessa Accra, 2 possessions left alone underneath the basket.
Yeah, I think Manchester have got to be careful now. You know, that's twice now she's been wide open under the basket. They really need to watch that coverage.
As Ortega driving inside, passes back to Furtado. It's intercepted by Accra. Bishop gets it back to Accra. Watkins has space and can't get it to fall. Rahana Khalil picks up the rebound, but that's been a few times now, Hannah, that space into the basket, Manchester not dropping back.
Yeah, definitely.
Ortega, 7 seconds on the shot clock. Back to Costa. Costa lines up a 3 off the front of the rim, but it's tipped. Bishop will come away with it. And a foul called on the play. That was a good look, though, from Ellie Costa.
It really was, yeah. She was wide open. And I think, you know, once she's hit that first 3, she's now comfortable. She needs to get into her rhythm of it and just, you know, keep hitting it.
As Costa dives in to knock the ball out of bounds, forces Brent, to reset. Davids clearly turns and fires. Ortega with the rebound. And Accra picks up another interception. Bishop, 3, bounces about, not going to go. But fighting for the rebound, it's Irene Aboado.
That was a really good rebound there from Irene, really strong.
And Irene Aboado leads the team in rebounds this season, and she's such a young player, but she just gets better and better every game, and every single off-season she comes back with something she's added to a game.
Yeah, and that just shows her dedication. You know, she works hard on and off the court. I know she goes through a lot of, you know, training, bit of strength and conditioning, anything she can do to improve her physical, her skill set is you know, is brilliant.
Accra's shot's no good. Good tap there from Nat Furtado.
Yeah, great box out there.
Oh, Nat had a brilliant box out that we thought you would have loved last week.
I think I know which one you mean, actually. I was watching that one.
It was a perfect box out. And Irene as well, playing for the GB team over the summer. GB under 16s, and just one of the really exciting young players that we've got in this league and in this country.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a 1-point Brent lead. And it will be Brent ball from the sideline. Davids, and it's knocked out of bounds as we see Success Odemwingie into the game for the first time for Manchester. Davids to Accra, going against Odemwingie. Accra spins, too strong, it's picked up by Success. Aboado has to pass out of it. Costa's there, driving baseline, back to Aboado. Odemwingie to Ortega for 3.
Oh, that's so disappointing. That was such good ball movement from them.
And we saw this last weekend against Ipswich. So when Manchester moved the ball well and they looked for the shot or able to take their time, they came up very successfully with it.
Yeah, they really do. You know, once they kind of are strategic and they take their time and they don't rush it.
As Aboado goes all the way and lays it in. Sorry to cut you off there, Hannah.
No, it's fine. It was an important shot.
And it puts Manchester up 1, and just under 5 minutes to play here in the first quarter. As Cleary steps through, that's a tough shot. Saved in by Accra, but it'll be Manchester that come away with it, and Odemwingie racing down the sideline. There's a foul on the floor, and Success Odemwingie for me, she's so fast. She's crazy fast.
No, she actually is. Yeah, no, she's brilliant. And I love, I mean, don't get me wrong, there are times where she does, her footwork isn't great and she does travel, but I think sometimes refs do call her travel just because her feet move so fast.
She's a blur.
It looks, yeah, honestly.
It's like a cartoon when
Yeah,
it's going
honestly.
too fast. So Kizzy Spence into the game for Manchester. Brent playing with a slightly shorter roster today, as you mentioned earlier, and Manchester with, I was going to say a lot, like a full bench to pick from. As it'll be Manchester ball from the sideline. Odemwingie to Abodo. Costa out to Odemwingie. And it's a risky pass inside.
Yeah,
it's Brent that steals it.
Through the zone. You know, Brent have got a wingspan that's greater than all of us. We need to be not risking that pass.
As Cleary cleans up and puts the ball back in, and that was a great box out from Watkins there to get Cleary the ball. And Lindsay Cleary averaging just under 4 offensive rebounds a game so far this season. As it's out of bounds, Brent will reset. And an easy 2 for Cleary. As Odemwingie has Spence. Spence turns and fires, gets the foul call, and that's going to put Kizzy Spence at the line for 2.
Brent are setting up in a bit of a zone press at the minute. I think they're looking to trap, but you know, Manchester are used to this. They're used to it against Ipswich. They've played against it with other teams as well, and I think we are very guard heavy. So I think for them, it's just what they need to just take their time, look to move the ball up the court, and just try and break that press like they did there. You know, they drew the foul brilliantly.
Yeah, and without Remy Idowu out there, generally plays in the centre position. A little bit outsized maybe today, Manchester.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's a 2-point Bulls lead. Accurate into Cleary. Bishop. Cleary with the long 2, hits it. I feel like, what's Lindsay Cleary's points at the moment, Hannah? I feel like she's had a lot of them for Brent. As Spence launches a 3, bounces out, chases down her own rebound, and great save there from Spence, who taps it out of bounds off Bishop.
My stats aren't working as per usual.
It's when we're trying to do it.
I don't understand what it is about my stats. They just never work.
We'll find out. I'm going to throw it out there and say I feel like Cleary's got 8
Yeah,
of the 14.
I was about to say 6 or 8.
As Odemwingie's floater doesn't go, fighting for the rebound, but Accra comes away with it. And risky over the halfway line, and good defense there from Odemwingie. Forces the turnover as a backcourt will be called. Lindsay Cleary has 10 of Brent's 14 points. In about 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Costa to Odemwingie. Furtado, Costa calling for it in the corner. As you said, Hannah, that's her spot, not going to go that time. And another rebound for Vanessa Accra. Bishop stepping through, what a move to the basket. And we've seen Manchester maybe get off to a bit of a slow start sometimes this season, Hannah, in the first quarter. They then kind of ramp it up, but sometimes they're playing from behind. But so far, as Costa's 3 nails it. So far, they've been doing pretty well, coming out strong.
They really have, and I think for them, they've just got to keep that pace and that intensity up. You know, Rob's always said to the team, you know, as long as you are in single digits in that fourth quarter, it's your game to play. You know, you've just got to fight, keep fighting until the end of the end of the game, basically.
And we saw last week against Ipswich, it was a very low-scoring game for Ipswich, 25-22 to Manchester at half-time. And we know Manchester are a very defensive-minded team, and they're really good at that. They hold their opponents to 58.7 points per game, but it's the scoring that perhaps hasn't flowed as much as they would like to this season.
Definitely.
It's Accra, long two, not that time. And it's a single possession game. Karina Costa and Faith Lord into the game for Manchester. Odunwingie has space, pulls up from the foul line, bounces out. And again, Vanessa Accra with rebound number 5.
I mean, you could just see the height difference there where, you know, you've got Millie Watkins there just tipping the ball to her teammate.
And Cleary gets the basket and the foul. That's going to send Lindsay Cleary to the foul line, taking the contact and finishing. As we see Imogen Yude in for Brent and Isabel Robinson for the Manchester Mystics. So Cleary at the line, a 68.8% shooter from the stripe so far this season. And a player that came into this season as a WNBL's Division 1 all-time leading rebounder. 711 she had when she came into the season, and she's not played that many seasons.
No, she's not.
So Brent stretched the lead up to 6 here, putting on a press. Costa is doubled. Odunwingie's there. Odunwingie kicks it to Robinson. Robinson with the long 2, and that's good. And Isabel Robinson straight into the game, making an impact.
Yeah, she's brilliant. That form shot, you know, it's so clinical. She barely misses. It's brilliant.
Good hands there from Lord to knock the ball away. Robinson has Odunwingie racing up ahead. Lord spins, can't get the roll. But balls, well, it's knocked out of bounds, but because of a foul, so that'll be a foul on Lord.
I mean, she's tough. She's a tough player. You know, that was a smart enough foul. You know, as a coach, I wouldn't be disappointed with that. She's tough. She's come out there. She's chased after her own rebound. So yeah, I think she's performing.
And did a similar thing in her time on court last weekend. Just came into the game, made an instant impact straight away. A couple of rebounds. As good D there from Robinson. Manchester coming back on the attack. It's Spence going to the basket, swings it to Costa in the corner. Back to Odunwingie. Her 3 will go. And it's a 1-point game. 20 seconds in the quarter. Davids. Oh, what a pass into Bishop. Can't finish though, it rolls off the rim and it's picked up by Robinson. 10 seconds. Manchester can take the lead here as Odunwingie stops, pulls up, and that is nothing but net. Manchester up 1, and at the end of the first quarter, it's a 20-19 lead for Manchester over Brent. Manchester dropping in the 3-pointers today, something that wasn't falling for them last weekend, and a really good start there to the game for the Mystics, Hannah.
Yeah, I mean, they're really playing to their advantage. I think they've come out with a really clear game plan. They're very much aware of their, you know, the height difference and the physicality difference between them and Brent. So they're using the perimeter shots. You know, they've got some great shooters there. Ellie, Success, Irene, Kizzy. So it's all about that movement and creating some open shots for them. And I think that's what's brought them this 20-point lead. The 20-point lead, I wish. This 20-point score.
And I did mention it before, but 20 points at the end of the first quarter. They had 25 at the end of the half last weekend against Ipswich. So if that's a very good sign for Manchester. And for Brent, just, you know, it is just a 1-point game. Lindsay Cleary with a massive 13 points for the Bulls in just a quarter.
Yeah.
And Vanessa Accra, 4 points for her, but 5 rebounds.
Yeah, big boards. But that's what she brings every single time. And I think for Manchester, that's something that they're going to have to really work on and really contain that if they want to, you know, take this win.
And last time these two teams met, so they played in November in Brent, and it was a 62-50 win to the Bulls that time. But last season, when these two teams met up in Manchester, it was again, we followed a similar pattern. They played Ipswich really close, then they played Brent. And this time last season, they played Brent. It was a 3-point win for Brent. Rocky Davids coming up with a clutch shot towards the end of the game.
Did we go into overtime?
No, we were. It was a 3-point. It was like this close. I think we all thought it was going to overtime. You had an awesome charge. You took a charge. But again, there's so much parity in the league this season, isn't there? And, you know, any team can beat anyone on any given day.
Yeah, really, you really can. I just think it's funny that history is kind of repeating itself again.
It's literally the same thing happening. A close win against Ipswich, top of the table. Sorry, a close loss against Ipswich, and again against Brent as Costa gets it to Spence. Costa floater won't go, tipped and saved in by Robinson. And Spence is going to put up a 3. Won't go, but what a rebound there from Lord. As Costa's 3 again doesn't drop, but Faith Lord working hard inside, and Isabel Robinson as well. Just again, instant impact off the bench.
Yeah, really, really right.
And what a box out there from Robinson. As the ball's back with Manchester, Odin Wingy has Spence.
I mean, we mentioned, you know, they're missing Remy today, but I think it's great that we've got both Robinson and Faith that are, you know, coming up here and stepping up to the plate and really closing that gap.
Absolutely, it's all about, isn't it, who can step up, who's the next woman up in that position. As Jude gets the ball back for Brent. Good hands there from Lord. As forces the turnover, Costa, left-handed layup, drops it in. And we see that from both the Costa twins. They have that really long reach that when they go up, especially from the left side, they're able to flip the ball high off the glass.
And I think, again, that's something, you know, they've worked on themselves outside of practice. They're very much aware of their height difference, and they have taught themselves how to kind of finish correctly in a way that not only helps them draw a foul, but also make sure that they finish.
As Cleary adds another 2 points to a total for Brent and brings them back within 1, and it will be, is that a step out of bounds? Or
no,
there's a child on the court. I don't think I've had that before in a game. So that will be, that will stay Manchester ball, as we've got a substitution for Brent. Saruna Gudza into the game for the first time, and Gudza, a player that used to be with Ipswich a few seasons ago, made the move over to Brent, so playing in a second season in Brent. And Gudza's she's a real hustle player. She's someone that's going to, you know, she might not have the most points every game, but she's going to work really hard off the ball.
Yeah, she really is. I coached her at Hoop 6 All-Star Classic, and she was brilliant. She is really, really engaging and like really wants to learn from you, and she was just fantastic. A really fantastic player to coach.
1 second as Costa's shot will go, and Karina Costa at the buzzer, almost looking like she surprised herself with that one. Cleary backing down, going to the hole and draws the foul. And they're the type of shots that Karina Costa's just dropped in from Manchester. When it's going, that gives you such confidence,
really
doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. Again, though, this end, you know, we've got success there, stepping up the plate, and she's marking Cleary and, you know, beating Cleary to the basket. It's really great to see.
Doing a very good job as Cleary hits the first free throw. Takes her up to 16 points personal. She averages just under 19 a game, so
just a day in the office.
As Odemwingie racing down the court, has Robinson up his head. Oh, great pass out. As Costa thought about it, Robinson going to the basket, and a travel called as Cleary gets a hand on the ball to get Brent the ball back. And Brent, certainly one of the teams that will be challenging to finish top of the table, and with an eye on the playoff finals later on in the year. And only been in existence for a few years, formed in 2020.
Yeah, they're a very young team, very young club, but I think it's fantastic. You know, it just shows you kind of when you've got the right team and the right players and the right format, how successful you can be.
Oh, Robinson all alone under the basket, puts it in.
You know, that's Manchester breaking that press. You know, when you find the gaps and you can move the ball effectively up the court, you can really get some easy scores off it.
And we see, so Manchester are a team that lead the league in steals per game with 14.1, but they're a team that like to capitalise on that. As you said, like to run fast, get out into transition.
Yeah, really, they really do.
It's because they're all young as well and they like to run.
That's why do you think I left? I couldn't keep up, Kaz.
So Saruna Gudza at the line. Gudza averaging 5.5 points per game at 3.5 rebounds. Shooting 50% from the line so far this season. Gets a second to go. So it's a single possession game. Odemwingie has Robinson. Costa, finds a way to the basket. And Karina Costa taking advantage of the space.
She's really having a game today. She's really thoughtful with her shots and her drives to the basket.
Had 8 points, 5 rebounds off the bench last weekend against Ipswich. As Cleary finds Davids. Gudza, 7 seconds on the shot clock. Cleary at the foul line. Looked like Lord got a hand on that one, pulls the rebound down. Odemwingie racing up ahead of Costa, but Costa's going to back it out, slow it down. And a travel called, just one step too many, but you see there, Hannah, the Costa just recognising they didn't really have the advantage, pulling the ball back and waiting for the rest of the team.
And I know this is very biased to say, but that makes me so proud. As one of her coaches from back, from under 16s, it takes that maturity as a player to read the situation like that and not just go full pelt and just throw something up. So it's so good that she's, recognising that and she's drawing it out and resetting the play for them.
Yude for 3. And Lord with another big rebound. Certainly taking advantage of her timeout on court. As Odemwingie finds Ortega. Back out to Odemwingie. Costa. 7 seconds on the clock. Into Robinson. Robinson against Davids. Robinson with the short jumper. It's too short. Gets her own rebound though. Out to Ortega and a fresh 14 for Manchester. As Ortega weaves her way around the baseline. And kick ball is called. Manchester getting a little bit lucky there on that one.
Yeah, it was a bit stagnant, that last offence. Not as much movement as I'd like to see.
So Irene Abodo subs back in. Success. Odemwingie heads to the bench. Odemwingie with 5 points and 6 rebounds in the first half. And a 5-second violation on the inbound.
It was a very quick 5 seconds. I'm saying nothing.
Brent down 5. Davids into Accra. Cleary. Looks like she was triple teamed. Accra's shot doesn't go. And Robinson with the rebound. And for a team that we said, Hannah, with a good defense there.
Very good defense.
For a team that are slightly outmatched size-wise, Robinson's shot from the elbow doesn't go. But again, a rebound for Lord. Manchester will be doing a really good job on the boards, as Faith Lord did just then.
Yeah, she's been brilliant. She's been really hustling under that basket.
So 21 rebounds for Manchester. And 13 for Brent. As Nat Furtado back into the game for Manchester. Davids finds Yude in the corner. Off the back of the rim. And it's Ortega leading the charge for the Mystics. Costa, she's doubled. Furtado has it. Lord driving all the way to the basket, gets the roll, and Faith Lord on a roll herself. It's a 7-point Mystics lead. And a travel call there as Irina Boado just makes a stand. And what a run from Manchester here in the second, Hannah.
Yeah, they've been brilliant. You know, they've just really keeping that intensity up. I think this is probably a playoff from last week. You know, and it's just about keeping that fight now in them and keeping that momentum going.
And having a game like that against Ipswich, top of the table Ipswich, you know they're a tough scoring team. They kept them 25 points under their average. Obviously, the Manchester scoring wasn't as strong as it could have been, but does a loss like that, I think he should call it a positive loss.
Yeah, and it's
gives
so
you a boost.
True. It really does. It's so true. You know, I know last season when we did the same. You know, when we had this same back-to-back, we had the close win against Ipswich and then the close win against Brent. It really does give you that kind of push and of that we deserve to be here, we want to be here, and you know, or we know now that we can compete.
Yeah, and sometimes it's that, isn't it?
You that's all it takes.
So Millie Watkins and Eleanor Bishop back in for Brent as Ortega is at the foul line. Doesn't get the first one to roll in. But Michelle Ortega last weekend had a double-double, 11 points and 10 rebounds. She's really started to feel like she's found her flow playing in her first season for the Mystics.
Yeah, she really has, and she's a fantastic addition to the team. You know, she's a really strong guard. She's really good with that kind of leadership as well on offense and being able to kind of direct the rest of the squad on court. So I think she's really coming into her own now.
Watkins goes against the Boado. Bishop, 3 seconds on the shot clock. Needs to put something up. Watkins, 1 second, hits it. And Millie Watkins at the buzzer.
That was a really tough shot. It was fantastic.
And at the other end, a high-arcing layup from Ellie Costa puts the lead back up to 7. I was going to say as well, that's that experience of Millie Watkins out there, knowing the clock awareness, and that, I mean, that shot's just easy for her, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think when you've got the experience that she has, you're able to kind of compose yourself in those in that setting when you've literally got a second to put the shot up, and you're able to finish it.
So Rahana Khalil into the game for Manchester. And it's stolen away. Costa keeps it alive. Turns and puts up a 3 and knocks it down. Ellie Costa, 9 points personal. Had all the time in the world to do that. Was such a casual 3.
It really was.
And it's a 9-point lead for Manchester. Their biggest lead of the game so far. Brent into Cleary. Bounces out, but Watkins with the rebound.
I think Manchester are kind of utilising the advantage they've got today, which is, they do have a larger bench, so they can get away with some little fouls here or there, whereas Brent don't really have that advantage today. They've only got 2 on the subs bench, and I think, if they start getting into foul trouble, like Linda Cleary in the cup final, they could be in some serious trouble.
And it also allows you, with the deeper bench, it allows you to kind of run a lot more because you've got the benefit of rest, haven't you, and been able to swap players out. Watkins doesn't get the shot to hit from the foul line. And it's an interception by Watkins. Hands it to Cleary. As Davids into Cleary. Comes up against Khalil. And that'll send Lindsay Cleary to the foul line.
I mean, again there, I think there's a demonstration there. Rahana doing that smart foul. Forcing Cleary to the free throw line instead.
Cleary with 16 points, leading all scorers and leading the way for Brent. And it was this time last year when Brent came to Manchester, she had a 20 rebound game against Manchester, 13 of them offensive. As the first free throw is good. But she's such a, we talked about it before, but she's such a clever rebounder, just a really...
She's got a very high basketball IQ.
Yeah. Second one doesn't go, but it's chased down by a Boado. approaching the 92nd mark of the half. Ortega, she's got space there. Costa thought about the shot, sidesteps, 3, splashes it in, and Ellie Costa on fire today for Manchester.
I think they're really kind of, she had 21 points last week, and I think she's just kind of coming off the back of that, really.
I mean, she had nearly half the team's points. Yeah. They had 46 total as Cleary on the baseline draws the foul. But Ellie Costa as well, one of the players on this team that's playing WNBL. Yeah. She had a really big game a couple of weeks ago where she had 21 points and 11 steals.
Yeah,
but playing as much basketball as some of the younger players do under 18s, WNBL and D1, that must really help.
Oh, it really does. The more time on court you have and the different scenarios that you're put into, ultimately it just adds to that development as a player.
And it's getting those reps as well.
It really is.
First free throw is good for Cleary. Second one's good as well. 2 of 2 from the line. Puts the lead down to 9. Costa. Furtado hands it back to Costa. Costa can't get the up and under to go. And it's Rocky Davids with the ball for Brent, setting the team up. Davids looking for a way to the basket. Runs into Costa, gets it over to Bishop. Cleary turns and banks it in.
Oh, lovely little move there by Cleary. Love that little footwork. Nice little pivot towards the basket and a little hook shot. Really, really good.
That move that she does, it's perfect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ortega has a Abodo. Costa in the corner. Khalil, Furtado. 2 seconds, has to put something up. Ortega. And a 24-second shot clock violation there will give Brent a chance to cut this heading into half time.
I think that was a little bit poor from Manchester there. We both saw it. We were both pointing out there was a wide open corner shot there for Ellie, but
It's David's handoff to Watkins underneath the basket. 2 seconds. Ortega will launch from the halfway line, and that won't go. But at the end of the first half, it's 37-32, Manchester over Brent. And a 5-point Manchester lead heading into half-time. They were up by as much as 11 earlier on. And Brent having fought their way back into this.
Yeah, I think Brent are doing really well. That was fantastic. Little run there for the last half of that quarter. And I think they've just got to play to their strengths. They've had some really nice little dishes inside to Millie Watkins and Vanessa Akra, and those are the things that they're good at, and I think they just need to keep going with that. At the end of the day, that's where Manchester are at a disadvantage. They don't have that height, they don't have those physical bodies. I mean, there are a few other players that are stepping up, like Success and Irene, but I think, Brent needs to just go back to the drawing board on this one, I think, and they really need to look at, what their strengths are and how they can, help chip away at this lead now.
Certainly, so 20 points in the paint for Brent, 22 points in the paint for Brent to Manchester's 14, maybe something that they need to look at going into the second half. So, Hannah, you're going to run down at courtside and speak to Isha, and we're going to get your thoughts on the first half. But next weekend, for Manchester, they will be playing away to the Cobham Cobras on Saturday the 22nd before coming back home against the Loughborough Riders on March the 1st. That'll be at 5:30 p.m, so come down to the Manchester Basketball Centre at Whalley Range, catch all the action. And the Brent Bulls, they'll be playing against Ipswich in a National Cup rematch on Sunday the 23rd of February. And you don't want to miss that one. So we're going to go courtside now with Isha and Hannah and get their thoughts on the first half. Over to you.
First great half full of action that we've had here at the Manchester Basketball Centre. Hannah, what do you think of that first half?
Oh, it was fantastic. I think it's a real good run for Manchester here. They're doing really well, getting some really nice shots up. really being really clinical with their offenses and also really running the ball well. So it's been really exciting. I think Brent have got some things that needs to go back and look at. As I just mentioned before with Kaz, I think they're not quite playing to their strengths as much as they normally do. But yeah, no, exciting game.
Definitely. I mean, coming into this game, obviously Manchester are quite much of a younger team. There is quite a large range in the ages, but overall they are quite younger. Brent, however, we would say older, but we'll just say more experienced, more veteran, just to be polite. Yeah. Brent are kind of like that. But do you think today we've seen Manchester run the floor quite well, which we know Manchester teams do that, but Brent kind of haven't seemed to be able to keep up with them. Do you think that's a testament to Manchester just in general, or do you think it's kind of to do with that? Do you think Brent are feeling this high-endedness of only having 7 players? What do you think of that?
I mean, I think what you can see is that Manchester have really worked on breaking this press that Brent have put on. They're finding the gaps, they're moving the ball up the court really well and really nicely, and that is allowing them then to find those little fast break and those easy points. The last one was the little dump into Izzy Robinson under the basket, and I think for them, maybe that's something that they've worked on in practice. Going back, looking at Brent, I think they are a tough team. They do have that stamina to compete. I think for them it is just all about stopping the ball early. But you can't really compete when you're trying to beat Successor and wing it up the court. Let's be honest.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we know how she can run the floor, but yeah, there's some really fast players on the Mystics. But it is really a testament though to their offense. It's not all you're younger so you can be able to run the floor. I mean, yes, that is one aspect of it. But if we take a look at what they've been like this game compared to Ipswich game, we saw every fast break opportunity trying to go one-on-one, even when there was a defender there. But this game, we've seen more of them kind of slowing it down. If the chance isn't on, they have slowing it down, tried to find an offense. So testament to Manchester, of course. But take a look at Brent. I mean, let's take a look at the stats now. We've got Lindsay Cleary. Coming into this game, we knew she was going to be a problem, but 21 points in the first half. I mean, what more can you say? What do you have to say about that?
I don't really have much to say because the stats speak for themselves. 21 points in one half is fantastic. She's got all of Brent's points. But the last few shots she's had have been great little moves under the basket, and I think that's just what she's known for. She's really clinical and she's very disciplined with her footwork, which allows her then to create space and give her those open shots. And I think for her as well, she's her movement of the ball as well is brilliant. She's got one assist at the minute, but it doesn't look like that on the court. She helps move the ball, really create those open shots for her teammates as well. So yeah, she's just a fantastic player. She's a fantastic all-rounder.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully Manchester, half-time, obviously now they'll be trying to look to suppress her on the scoring end, because if she continues like that, player of the week, here we come, I guess. But now taking a look at kind of just team stats, Brent only have 18 rebounds compared to Manchester's 27. Is that something Brent is struggling? The game itself, we've seen Manchester get a lot of offensive rebounds, a lot of second chance points. How are Brent going to stop that? We said it at the beginning of the game that, realistically, Brent are the more physical team. They should be winning these rebounds. But I think maybe that's something that, again, Manchester have come into knowing that was the case. And that's something that they worked on in practice. Because looking at Success, Irene, Ellie, all of those girls are stepping up, and I'm watching them and they're boxing out under the basket. They're really putting the work in. And then you've got Faith Lloyd there, who's having an astounding game. She's been so physical, and they've really stepped up to the plate today, and I think it's a testament to the hard work that they've been putting in practice this week. Definitely. Obviously, end the quarter is 37-32. They're only up by 5. At one point, though, there was that 11-point lead. Take a look at Manchester. We've got Ellie Costa on 13 points. We were speaking about it before the game. We knew she can carry this Mystics team towards over the finish line, be responsible for a lot of the points. How do you think she's played? How do you think the Mystics' offense has been?
She's brilliant. She's 3 from 5 on the 3-point line, 5 from 9 field goals, and I think she's just so clinical with her shots. But me and Kaz mentioned it before about how she's also recognising when to slow the ball down, not quite take the fast break all the way, and just kind of bring it back, let the rest of the team set up and create those right shots. And I think that's so important, and it's also such a testament to the development of her as a younger player.
Definitely. So kind of going into the second half, Manchester offense has been pretty decent, especially compared to that last game. Defensively, maybe a few things to work on. What do you think that half-time talk's looking like?
I think for Manchester, for them, like you said, it's all about containing Lindsay Cleary right now. We can't allow her to get on another scoring run like she has this half. But I think for for them right now, they just need to keep this momentum going. They need to keep pushing the ball, but also making sure that they're taking those right shots. I think for Brent, they need to go back to the drawing board. You know, they need to really look at what they're used to, what their strengths are. They've had some really nice looks inside, some nice little dishes inside to Millie Watkins and Vanessa Akra, and I think that's what they need to play to, those strengths, and moving the ball better on offence.
Yeah, definitely. So that's it for me and Hannah at half time. We're gonna take a short break now. When we go back, it'll be Kaz and Hannah take you through the rest of the game. Enjoy the rest of the game, Hannah.
Thanks, Tisha.
Did you see? She's really good. Yeah. I really like her. Yeah. See what Maisie has. Welcome back in to the Manchester Basketball Centre in Whalley Range as we get ready for the third quarter between the Manchester Mystics and the Brent Bulls. Manchester have a 5-point lead, 37 to 32 over the Bulls as we head into the second half. And Hannah, you and Isha mentioned it before, but Lindsay Cleary has 21 points in the first half.
Yeah, mental, absolutely mental. She's had a brilliant game, and I think, you know, considering how much they've struggled, Brent, she's really kind of kept them going and really helped them stay into this game well. Her offensive moves have been so clinical and so disciplined. I keep repeating those words, but I don't know how other way to describe it. You know, she's been a pleasure to watch.
She certainly has, and maybe not been as heavy on the rebounds as we might have expected, but that's, for me, that's because they don't have Judith Fritz out there, the team's leading scorer and also the league's leading scorer. So Lindsay, having stepped into, I mean, she scores a lot anyway, but kind of it's Vanessa Akra now dropping back into that rebounding role.
Yeah, it really is, yeah. She's Vanessa Akra is so tough. I mean, she was great at Manchester in the WNBL, and I think she's really brought that with her to Brent.
And Irina Bodo, what a rebound. Kizzy Spence up ahead, but Bodo just fighting for the rebound, and I think she's grown in the last, since Christmas, she's grown. As Costa's three is too strong, but picked up and put back in by Rahana Khalil. But Irina Bodo, you see her using that long reach she's got to pull the ball down.
Yeah, a nice little bouncy as well.
And an interception by the Mystics as Khalil just a bit too strong on the pass to Bodo in the corner.
Manchester have a pattern of that where they have some really good performances and then they get a really good steal and then they turn it over, and I think that's something that they really need to work on, because I think sometimes it lets them down quite a bit.
It's a case of trying to put it together, isn't it, for the full 4 quarters, which sounds so obvious, but it is a real challenge to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it'll be Brent ball from the sideline.
Can I also just apologise to anyone listening that I am doing this shot clock? I'm doing the clock, and I'm doing a really bad job of it, so I apologise in advance.
I think you're doing a fantastic job. It's incredibly hard. Isha, where are you? Come back and help us. As Bishop a big 3 from Eleanor Bishop.
As long as the score's right, that's the main thing.
We're trying to be a self-sustainable crew, aren't we? As Khalil has the ball, Bodo with space from behind the line. That's too strong. And Akra just pulls it down, says, that's mine, I'm having that. And it was an 11-point lead for Manchester in the first half. Brent having cut this down to 4. Cleary's doubled, that leaves Davids open. Cleary steps back and hits it, to no surprise to anyone.
Absolutely none.
23 points for Lindsay Cleary. She had 31, a season high against Barking Abbey at the start of this month. As it's just a single possession game. Spence, 5 seconds on the clock. Spence hangs in the air. Not that time, and another rebound for Akra.
I think she should have taken the shot on that one. I think she had that second there to take that shot. Great steal there from Remy.
And good to see Remy Idowu having made it for the second half.
Yeah. Don't know where she's been like. I'll ask her at the end of the game.
So that's a real advantage for Manchester height-wise. As we said, they were slightly missing in the first half, but it really didn't seem to faze them.
Yeah, and fresh legs as well.
Good point. That's a really good point. Spence at the end of the shot clock gets it to go. Kizzy Spence swished that.
That was a very deep 3. I mean, only Kizzy will make that shot, to be honest with you.
And Kizzy's just a real spark off the bench
really
for Manchester.
She's an absolute whippet. She, and she's one of those players as well. It's not just about how she plays; it's how she acts and her attitude on court. She's really good at getting the team going.
She's a very energy player, isn't she?
Again, that's why I can't keep up.
But you can take the charges. You could just stand and take the charges.
What, Rob just subbed me on to stand under the basket? I wish.
Brent within 5. Davids pulls up from the foul line. and hits that. And that, if you've seen Rocky Davids play, that's perfect, pure Rocky Davids basketball. That was about where she hit that clutch shot this time last season to push Brent for the win.
It was a nice little reminder, that, I think.
And David's a real all-round player for Brent, playing in a third season for Brent. Again, one of those players that, you know, she might not have the highest scoring game, but she really hustles, and her facilitation for the team.
Yeah, her impact doesn't go unnoticed. You know, she's such a great guard in the way she plays and leads the team on offense. It's a pleasure to watch.
Spence, catch and shoot three, nails it. Kizzy Spence, back-to-back threes. As Cleary keeps it inside the lines for the Bulls. It's intercepted by Khalil. And Manchester have been doing a really good job forcing turnovers.
Yeah, they really have. I think they just need to capitalise on a few of them. They're turning it a little bit too much when they're getting it. I think they just need to kind of settle down and stay in the play.
There's Bishop all alone under the basket. Shot doesn't drop. There's a Boado for Manchester. Spins against Cleary, has to pass out of it. Khalil, three. Not that time. And Spence picks up the ball after a miscommunication there from Brent.
I think there's a little bit of tiredness on this Brent team now. I'd like to see what Coach Kenrick's going to go from here.
Because Spence's shot's too strong off the glass, and it is tough with a short roster. And they've had a long trip up here as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not a quick trip to Manchester.
Not.
Accra lines up a long two. And Vanessa Accra getting in on the scoring action as well. It's a 4-point game, still Brent not going anywhere.
They really aren't, no.
And Brent's last loss in the league came to the Cobham Cobras back in November, on the 23rd of November. Lost that one 67-65. Only had 2 losses so far this season. The other coming to Cola as Spence, 3 of 3 from behind the arc. Kizzy Spence taking a leaf out of Steph Curry's book for the All-Star weekend. Bishop. Cleary, she's doubled, out to Bishop, knocks it down. I love Eleanor Bishop's celebration when she hits
brilliant.
it. She's like, yeah,
so nice. That's Brent's second 3 of the game. Yeah, they're 2 from 9, with Manchester 7 from 19.
And Eleanor Bishop, she's such a threat from 3.
Yes,
you expect
really
more to be dropping for, not necessarily for her, but for the team.
Yeah.
And again, without Judith Fritz out there, it's losing a player of her that has an impact as she does.
Yeah, you can see where she's missed here now today. And I think she's one of those players as well that can keep up with the runs of Manchester.
Yes, certainly. So it's a 50-44 lead for Manchester here as we get towards the end of the third quarter. The quarter breakdown for this quarter. Oh, a 12-11 run for Brent this quarter. As we see Faith Lord back into the game for Manchester. Cleary heads to the bench as Serena Goods back in for the Bulls, and a hook shot from Accra. What a pass there to Costa, in off the glass. Calm, composed finish. It's that little flick with the
I'm
with
just
the
still
ball.
taken aback by that pass. You could not have nailed it any better.
And a foul called. So that'll send Brent to the line. But Irina Boado's perfect pass there.
It was Kizzy.
Oh, was it Kizzy? Apologies. Sorry.
Yeah.
It was Irene's rebound to
It
Kizzy.
was Irene's rebound.
So and the fantastic teamwork between the 3 of them.
Yeah.
And Ellie Costa as well. She's always running, and that shows the importance, doesn't it, of running down the court, not stopping.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Just run everywhere, everyone.
Sprint for your life.
Goods' second doesn't go. Lord with the rebound. Leads back up to 7 for Manchester. Khalil finds a Boado and a step out of bounds. Puts the ball back in the hands of Brent.
You wouldn't think that they train on this court, would you? That they should know where the lines are.
It's only been a few years.
I know.
Watkins going against Lord. Great D there from Lord. Passes out to Bishop. Her three's too strong.
It's been such a fast game as well in that the clock's barely stopped.
It really has, hasn't it? We're going to get a foul right now. You've just said that. As Costa drives to the basket and a foul called because Hannah made it happen. So Ellie Costa going to line, and Manchester now having surpassed their total in last week's game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously the game's not done, but 3 quarters in, Coach Rob Fairley is going to be very pleased with what he's seen so far.
Yeah, he will. You know, hopefully this is going to be a positive win rather than a positive loss after last week. And like I said before, I think it's just demonstrating them working on week in, week out, building on what they've done from the weekend before. And I think it's just giving them that momentum.
And for me, I mean, this might be recency bias, but this almost feels like the most kind of together we've seen the team play, the most gelled, and obviously that comes with playing together throughout the course of the season, but they feel like they're very in sync. Yeah,
I agree. You've hit the nail on the head with that one, I think. The passes are more fluid, the movement on offense is more fluid, they're seeing each other, cutting, so yeah, positive.
Certainly, obviously, like, you know, little things that can be tweaked on that you work on. But yeah, real credit to Manchester so far, and Brent have been really hanging in this, obviously short-handed. They've been such a tough team all throughout the season, haven't they?
Oh, yeah, they are. I mean, Brent are known for being Brent. You know, they're one of the toughest teams in the league. And I think today, you know, we can question it. We can sit here and question it. Is it the missing players? Is it the shorter bench? You know, what is it that's kind of not working for them today? But, you know, that doesn't deter from the fact that, you know, they are one of the best teams in the league.
Absolutely. As Ortega looks to hand off. Oh, what a pass there to Robinson. It bounces out, tips it to Odin Wingy, and the ball's out of bounds, going to go with Brent. That was a great handoff from Ortega.
It really was.
So me and Hannah Shaw want a highlight reel of passes that were great passes but didn't result in a score. So we'll add that to it.
Shout. Yeah, I think that's a good shout.
I mean, obviously we want the score at the end,
yeah,
but, you know, there's so many that are really good.
I mean, as a player, I'm surprised Hannah's even suggested it, because that just depressed me.
And intercepted by Costa, who again will back it out, pass it to Odin Wingy. Ortega's in the corner. Ortega spins against Davids to the basket. It's tipped. Bishop comes away with it. Last minute of the third quarter. Gudza had space for the shot but drives in. Accra working her way round.
Great defense by Izzy Robinson, should I say. She held her form so nicely, really disciplined.
And it's important, that, isn't it, to I mean, I'm trying to do the movement here, but just to stand straight upwards, keep your arms up in the air and not kind of lean.
That's the thing. And I mean, I think a lot of the time it also depends, not to kind of take the blame away, but it's, you know, it all depends on the refereeing as well sometimes. You know, you don't know where the line is with a certain referee. So I think the best thing to do is to keep your form like Izzy just did then, and then you can go from there. If they're being a bit more lenient, maybe you can put a bit more contact in. If not, you know that you just have to stand there and stay straight as possible.
So we've got a timeout called, and I feel like we haven't had many timeouts this game, have we?
Nope, we really haven't.
So a 53-45 lead for Manchester at the moment. We've got 40 seconds or so left in the third quarter. And after Lindsay Cleary had those 21 points at half-time, she's got 23 now. So you and Isha spoke about it, but Manchester have been trying to close her down. You can see them going to double her.
Yeah.
Obviously, that means somebody else has to shoot and score. Yeah. But if you're trying to force the ball out of her hands, they seem to have done a good job of that.
Yeah, they really have. And like you say, if you're doubling down on a certain player, you're going to have to then move the other 3 players on the squad are going to have to move well and communicate as well. That's the key. You have to communicate with each other to make sure that all players are covered.
And they seem like they've been able to do that.
Yeah.
So ball's going to be inbounded. Cleary fighting against Lord for the jump ball. And that's going to go the way of Manchester. And again, Faith Lord, she's just had such a fantastic impact in her, limited minutes on the court, playing around 10 minutes.
A bit of miscommunication there between Success and Michelle. You can hear the disappointment in my face, in my voice.
So Brent will get the ball back, a chance to cut into this lead. Goodser all the way to the basket. It's too strong. Odin Wingy with the rebound, needs some help. Finds Costa, saves it in, but it'll be Yude that gets it for Brent. Shot clock's off. Cleary against Robinson. Cleary, tough move. He's going to draw the foul. And Lindsay Cleary will go to the foul line.
Yeah, I think Manchester, they've just had a few too many turnovers there.
Yeah, and sometimes that's the thing as well, isn't it, with a younger team or a team that maybe haven't won as much. You're playing with the lead, but you have to keep the lead.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah.
So Cleary at the line. She's got 24 points now after that free throw. 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Sorry, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. And can't get the roll on the second. Lord gets the rebound. Ortega. Odin Wingy, 7 seconds. Odin Wingy out to Ortega. 3 seconds, has to put something up, and a foul on the floor. And Brent only on 2 team fouls, so that means Manchester will inbound with 2.7 on the clock. So it's got to be, you can maybe get a pass in, but really a catch and shoot.
It is just a catch and shoot.
So look maybe for Costa to come in from behind the arc as the ball's into Lord. Back to Ortega. Michelle Ortega, what a basket to end the third quarter and puts Manchester up 10. That was a tough handoff.
I'm just a bit speechless at the minute, Kaz. I'm so sorry.
That was
fantastic.
That was an incredible shot. She did a similar thing in the end of the first quarter against Ipswich, just at the buzzer. But Michelle Ortega, that looked like Manchester were not going to get a shot off in time.
No, they really didn't.
That's fantastic. I would like a replay of that, but I haven't got one, so I'll wait and watch it back when I go home. But a 10-point lead now for Manchester heading into the fourth. And when you finish a quarter on a shot like that, it's got to be a real boost for you.
Yeah, it really has. And I think as well for them, it's all about, being able to rely on a player like Michelle who can come on and she can stay composed in those situations and really kind of make sure she finishes. She's a testament to the team as well.
That is also Michelle Ortega's first points of the game.
Oh, is
so
it?
What a time to do that.
Well, definitely.
So Ortega with 3 points, 3 assists and 2 rebounds. Odin Wingy grabbing 8 rebounds for Manchester along with her 5 points.
I mean, success. Odin Wingy getting 8 rebounds over, Millie Watkins and Vanessa Accra. I think I did not have that on my bingo card of 2025.
And Faith Lord, 6 rebounds for her, and a really positive plus minus for her. Literally, 14 point plus, which for anyone that doesn't know, the plus minus is how much better your team is with you on or off the floor. So Manchester are 14 points better off with Faith Lord on the floor. Yeah,
and that's just brilliant. And I think, she's really come out of her shell the last couple of games. She's really been tough and somebody that Mystics can rely on defensively as well. And I think she's a great addition to the team.
Definitely. So leading all scorers, it's Lindsay Cleary, 24 points for her. And for Manchester, it's Ellie Costa leading the way with 16. And Kizzy Spence coming off the bench with 10 points, hitting those 3 threes. I think 3 straight threes as well, didn't she?
Deep straight threes as well.
So back underway. It's a 10-point Manchester lead. Can Brent cut into this? Tipped away by Karina Costa. Ortega. Oh, no look. But it's knocked out of bounds, going to stay with Manchester. Cleary couldn't get there quite fast enough. Odemwingie has Accra on her. Ortega lines up a 3 off the rim, but again, Lord is there, puts the ball back in the basket. And Faith Lord, have yourself a game.
She really is fantastic, so tough.
It's a 12-point lead, biggest lead of the game so far for Manchester. Accra, 3, bounces out. Ortega pushing the pace, has Costa, and that's good! Karina Costa going to the line. Chance for an and one, and the Costa twins today, Hannah, have just been, I mean, they're doing what they always do.
They do, I don't know why we're surprised, to be honest.
So Karina Costa, 8 points now off the bench, a couple of steals, has a chance to increase this lead for Manchester. And won't get it to go. Accra pulls it down for the Brent Bulls. Vanessa Accra with 8 rebounds. Gudza back to Accra. Yude, her 3 doesn't drop. Rebounds just pulled away by Odemwingie. And Manchester really pushing the pace here as Ortega puts it in off the glass, and you can see Manchester just getting down the court, playing fast.
Yeah, they're really using this momentum to their advantage, and I think as well using the, able to push.
Oh, Davids takes the contact.
Really able to push the ball up the court at the minute and take advantage of this speed.
And again, it's that, a shorter bench for Brent gives Manchester the opportunity to try and tire them out, really.
Yeah, really. That's the best game plan, I think, as a coach you can go for in this situation.
So Davids at the line, chance for a 3-point play. And it's off. Biggest lead of the game so far for Manchester. Lord has space. Costa doesn't drop. And a couple of good looks there from Manchester.
Yeah, really nice looks.
As ball's headed out of bounds.
I was about to say that it was that headed out. That's 10 rebounds for Success right now.
That's awesome. I don't know how tall Success is.
I was about to say she's about 4 foot. She feels about 4 foot when you're playing against her.
But she's certainly not one of the taller players on court, is she?
Absolutely not.
And Ortega with the short jumper, tipped. And another rebound for Odemwingie. What a save. As Ortega will set things up for the team. Karina Costa stepping through. Gets the foul call. But the rebounding from Manchester has just been what Rob Fairley and the team will have wanted to see all season long.
Absolutely. I would go about and say, well, why are they only just doing it now? And I can say that because I'm allowed to say that. But, I think this is what they need to. They now know they can do this, and they now know they can perform like this. This is now they've set themselves a precedent for the rest of the season. Well, they've set a precedent, and I will be reminding them of that.
So Karina Costa averaging just under 6 points per game for the Mystics, but also playing WEABL, where she leads the league in steals per game with 5.2 and is 10th in points per game with 14. So really showing out this season. Cleary. Oh, runs into Lord. That was you can see the double coming from Robinson and Lord. And as you said, Hannah, Manchester, nobody particularly in any foul trouble, and with such a deep bench, they have the fouls to give.
Yeah, they really do. And I think, from a coaching perspective, I know Lloyd, Faith is now on 3 fouls, which I'm actually quite surprised about. I thought that would have been her 4th, but you just keep her on. She's having a tough game. You can bring Nat Petard off the bench. You can bring Remy off the bench. So, just keep it going.
Those free throws good for Brent. And Brent, a team that averaged 75.5 points per game, just at 50 so far here in the 4th quarter. And this is a theme, isn't it, we've seen with Manchester. They are a gritty, tough defensive team. Robinson Doesn't get the layup, but Lord fighting for the rebound, hustling underneath the ball.
See, now if you had that on a highlight reel, I would not be able to keep watching that.
It just stresses you out.
It just stresses me out, Kaz.
We could cut it before the shot,
Great
though.
pass inside.
We could just show the pass and nothing else. As Robinson gets the steal, Karina Costa racing down the court, too strong off the glass. It's a little bit too much on it. Brent come up with it, and Lord getting in the passing lane because Accra had a clear path to the basket there.
Yeah, she really did. Covered a team and was able to cover the basket really well.
And that's a play, isn't it, Hannah, that is not going to show up on the stat sheet.
Absolutely not, you're right.
But so vital.
Yeah.
To any team as Goods' shot bounces out, gets the ball back. Oh, Cutting Cleary with the reverse is going to go. And a carry called on Manchester.
I think one of the things that kind of demonstrates with this Manchester team is a lot of the calls, a lot of the turnovers, things like carries and travels and stepping out of bounds. It's because they're a young team.
Yeah.
It is a very, and I think unfortunately that's something that's just going to come with experience. So it just means that they're going to have to fight in other ways on court.
And you kind of have to go through those, don't you?
Yeah.
You have to commit those turnovers and those kind of little mistakes to learn from them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I think is a clear demonstration of how they've developed since last season. The way in which they've kind of learning to slow the ball down now and not just drive at the basket is something that's so positive to see. And also a testament to the coaching staff at Manchester.
Absolutely. Rob Fairley and Pete Paraskiva doing a great job as Accra spins to the basket, high off the glass. Vanessa Accra with a fancy footwork.
Very nice finish.
And what I've really enjoyed about seeing Vanessa Accra playing for Brent the last couple of seasons, so in Manchester she wasn't really known as a scorer, although she'd occasionally knock down a three. As Ortega's short shot isn't going to drop. But Vanessa Accra for Brent, she's really kind of moved into that scoring role a bit more.
Yeah,
she's
really
still a menace on the board.
Yeah, but she's really come out of a shell. I think, this team has allowed her to find her place and, like you say, find that scoring rhythm as well.
There's a double dribble called. You don't see that one often, do you?
No.
We've had a carry and a double dribble. But yeah, as we said, that's kind of the mistakes that you need to learn from as a young team. And that's what the Manchester Magic and Mystics Academy and the programs do well, isn't it? They have a lot of players that come through the age groups at a very young age, like yourself, come up to the senior level, and it's a really important program that people can learn from.
Yeah, I mean, you only learn from your mistakes on this higher level.
As Odin Wingy all the way to the basket in a foot race down the court. She thinks she's in the 100 metres.
I think she did, yeah. I was going to say maybe the wrong sport, but please no success today.
Yeah. Yeah, don't take up athletics.
Absolutely not.
And a step out of bounds for Brent as Manchester will get the ball back, and the noise in here from the drums that we've got going is it's very loud.
It's very loud.
And Irina Bodo's mum always bringing the noise on the sidelines.
Never lets us down.
So just under 5 minutes to play as Robinson continues to add to Manchester's tally. And Isabel Robinson having her best game of the season so far for the Mystics.
It's great to see her back. She's got her confidence back.
As Davids answers for Brent.
Izzy's back from injury, and I think, to see her now really kind of finding her feet again is really impressive. And it's great to see that confidence coming back with her scoring ability as well. She was a fantastic scorer. Her last season that she played, she was on fire. And I think for her now, it's just about finding that rhythm again.
Definitely. I mean, she was named the Under-17 WNBL North Player of the Year that season, wasn't she, in the 22-23 season. And it is tough, especially coming back from, that looked like it was about to go, especially as a younger player. It's tough at any age coming back from injury, but as a younger player.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I was there the game that she did injure herself, and it was just heartbreaking because she just, it was towards the end of the season. She wasn't able to then play in the finals, and I'm kind of see the outcome of all her hard work.
Yeah.
So I just think I'm really, really proud and really pleased for her to be able to see her back on the court.
As the basket's good and the foul, so Brent back to the line for a chance at a 3-point play. And still time for Brent to cut into this, as we'll see Irina Bodo come back into the game. Isabel Robinson to the bench. And Robinson 6 points, 4 rebounds, an assist and 2 steals in just under 15 minutes for the Mystics. And we hope that that's, this is the start of more to come from,
definitely,
from Izzy,
100%
isn't it?
with Izzy.
Cleary gets the bounce. And Lindsay Cleary 29 points now. As Manchester look to try and increase the lead, but Vanessa Acra comes up with the steal. As Davids passes to Gudza. Bishop. No good. And this is with just under sort of 3.5 minutes here. Another interception by Brent as Gudza has it.
They're really good at reading those passes across the zone, Brent, and getting their hand in the passing lane. That's one of their strengths, I think, on defence, is that they're really good at doing that. And I think Manchester just needs to be a bit more careful about their passing.
Especially, like, they have time on their side here. They can use the clock, can't they? As we see there, Ellie Costa sets things up. There's no need to kind of rush any shots. You can use the 24 seconds. As Odin Wingy, her 3 bounces out. And Brent are a dangerous team, even down 11 as Bishop passes out to Gudza. Miscommunication there. Could see Acra trying to get it into Cleary, just a bit too much on it.
Yeah. Oh, they're excited because he's going back on.
So Millie Watkins in for Brent. And the human spark plug off the bench, Kizzy Spence.
She's just such a great player to have, like, on your team. Like that now, where Manchester are going through a bit of a slug, you can just put her on and you know she's just going to inject that energy into the squad. It's so good to have her on the team.
Absolutely. Ortega driving to the basket, meets Acra. Big block there from Vanessa Acra, just standing in the way and saying, "You're not getting past me."
Nope. Nada. I'm just running this clock down again. I'm really sorry.
We'll keep people informed. There's 2:28 left.
Yeah, just ignore the clock today, guys. I'm really sorry. It's just such a good game. I'm just too engrossed. I keep forgetting to stop it.
Why has Isha not come back?
Because she's too busy over there chatting. Honestly, can't get the staff these days.
Mystics inbound. Spence. Costa. Ortega in the corner, turns and fires. And a technical foul called. I think that was, is that on Ortega?
Yeah.
Just had a little chat to the ref after the shot. I think her argument was she was fouled, it wasn't called. But that's foul number 4 actually on Ortega. And that's going to give Brent a chance to cut this to a 10-point lead. Cleary at the line will make it a 10-point game, and now this is a bit of a dangerous position, isn't it, for Manchester?
It is, I mean, I understand sometimes we all have our frustrations with the referees, but sometimes, you have to be smart about it. You can't allow it to happen, and especially given last season what happened, we nearly ended up going into overtime.
And overtime haven't really been kind to Manchester this season. As Acra's shot short, gets her own rebound though and puts it back in, and it's a single-digit game. Brent picking up full court. Aboado has Costa up ahead. Costa comes up against Acra. Vanessa Acra says absolutely not.
Absolutely not. And that's such a tough play from Vanessa Acra. She's got a great rebound, got her own shot, got the 2 points, and then has come and performed straight on defense as well.
Doing it on both ends of the court, and that's going to be a step out of bounds as Manchester commit the turnover.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hark back to the game last year too much, but this is what we saw. Manchester had a little bit of turnover
Right, stop
issues.
reminding me, Kaz. My nerves can't cope.
Just get on and take a charge out there. Just go and stand under the basket. Just hop on there.
I haven't got my boots, sorry.
8-point Manchester lead. Davids against Khalil. Accra calling for it, has the mismatch. Accra out to Cleary. Cleary 3. Nothing but net. And Lindsay Cleary and the Brent Bulls have dragged themselves back into this game, and it's a 5-point lead for Manchester.
And it's
what
well
a comeback.
deserved. It's well deserved. You know, they've really stuck to it. They've really played to their strengths. They've got under Manchester's skin, and I think they've really, really outperformed themselves.
A 17-12 run for Brent so far this quarter. Lindsay Cleary now with a massive 33 points for Brent. She's been absolutely phenomenal this game.
She has, you know, and then you've got Vanessa Accra coming up behind her with 10 points and 10 rebounds. You know, she's been tough, and I think this 5-point lead, 5-point deficit for them is something that they can easily now chip away at, and they just need to keep going with this momentum.
And 5 points, absolutely nothing, is it, Hannah? 1:39 to play. Oh, look, the clock's practically running. It's 1:39 to play. So it's a lot of time, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm really sorry, can I correct you? It's 33 points for Lindsay Cleary.
Oh, I'm
I didn't add that last 3 points on. So it's 33 points.
So a huge, like, half.
Over half.
Over half. We're good at maths today.
We're so good at maths.
But and Cleary averaging 18.7. She's really stepped up scoring-wise in Judith Fritz's absence.
Yes, she has.
And Brent, you know, Manchester, their biggest lead was 16 points. It's now a 5-point lead. They've got the ball here to inbound. So you see we've got Rahana Khalil out there, Remi Idowu, you know, two very experienced players. It's a case, isn't it, of taking care of the ball and scoring.
Yeah.
Because that's what basketball is.
It is. Is it?
It's a game of runs sometimes, you know, as well. And Aboado has it for Manchester. It's stolen away by Cleary. Cleary going against Spence, and foul is called on Spence. Looked like she was trying to take the charge, trying to take a leaf out of her book, but it'll be a blocking foul.
I'm just a bit... I'm saying nothing, Cass.
So Lindsay Cleary at the line. That's just the first foul on Spence. So Cleary at the line for 2. And 2 big free throws here from Lindsay Cleary. Gets the first. Cleary now up to 34 points. Second one bounces out. Aboado with the rebound. It's a 4-point game, 2-possession game. Aboado to Costa. Khalil. Aboado. Spence has it. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Spence, 3. High arcing shot! Nothing but net. Kizzy Spence with a big bucket for Manchester. Clock running down. 4 threes off the bench for Spence. That's a huge basket for Manchester. Final minute of the 4th. Cleary to Watkins. Watkins out to Cleary. That 3 bounces off. Costa saves it in and gets it to Khalil. And it'll be Manchester ball. What a shot from Kizzy Spence.
I mean, I think she was just kind of answering to the referee there, I won't lie. I think she was making her mark, and rightly so. You know, that was deep three, and you can rely on Kizzy for that as well. You know, the amount of time she's come into this game.
And it's not quite a turnover. Who's going to get it? Manchester have it. What a save by Ellie Costa. That was a very risky pass from Manchester. Ellie Costa somehow manages to save it into Manchester's hands, though, as Aboado has it and a foul called. So a 7-point lead for Manchester after that Spence 3. Risky inbound, but it is Manchester that have the ball. And that's foul number 4
on Vanessa Accra. Is it number 7? No, number 1.
They've switched. They've flipped.
Why did they like to? They just do it on purpose, Kaz, I think, just to confuse us.
So it is on Accra, and it will put Irene Oboado at the foul line for 2. And again, big free throws to come here for Oboado. 10.4 points per game, 8.1 rebounds as the first spins out. Oboado also playing WNBL this season, averaging 15.8 points per game, gets the second to go, and it's a 8-point lead for Manchester. I don't think we realised the timeout was called there, as the players are going to go to their benches.
Yeah.
So Coach Kenrick Liebert calling a timeout for Brent, and with 25.5 seconds left here, Manchester need to kind of just take their time and hold the ball. For Brent, you need to get something off quickly.
Yeah, definitely. I think, and this is where they kind of, as a coach, it's one of those difficult situations. Do you risk it and go for the 3, or do you, take advantage of the 5 fouls that Manchester are on and drive to the basket and hopefully draw that 3-point play? That's one of those things that you've got to weigh up, and I think that's what Kenrick's right now drawing up on his board.
So 3 made 3-pointers for Brent so far in today's game. Eleanor Bishop with 2, and Lindsay Cleary has the 1. So they haven't been falling, but if you're going to get it someone, it's going to be either one of those 2.
Yeah, it is. Because I think as well, if you've got Lindsay Cleary, she's somebody that can then also drive to the basket. If the 3's not on, she can drive to the basket, and
you've just got to do it quickly and not burn too much time off the clock.
Yeah. And then stop the ball as soon as the ball is switched over. Sorry, I
feel like you're a bit stressed.
I'm a bit stressed, Kaz.
This is what we want, though, as a, we want a close, exciting game.
You say that, it's easy for you. You weren't here, you weren't on that court this time last year.
I was watching. I was talking about it. But just showing, again, the absolutely fantastic players that we have out in the league, out on court. So 24 seconds to go. David finds Bishop. Cleary underneath the basket, meets Idowu, and a foul called as Khalil will go to the line. Eleanor Bishop there called with a foul sheet that was clearly not intentional in any way.
Eleanor Bishop would never intend. She's so lovely, Eleanor.
You can see her there.
No, honestly, she's one of the nicest players. If she fouled me like that, I'd be like, yes, fair play. No worries, girl. No worries. No, she is. It was
a trip, wasn't it?
It was a trip, yeah.
So that does put Khalil at the line. And Rahana Khalil, first one spins out. I think we've seen a few of those spinning out today, but a National Cup winner with the Stockport Lapwings in Division 2 in what's one of my all-time favourite games.
I was about to say that's your all-time favourite game.
My mum says I talk about it all the time. But I do, it's a great game.
She's not wrong, but also fair play, like it was. I remember it plain as day.
So another timeout called. Coach Kenrick Liebert has a time again to draw something up. So 10 seconds gone off the clock now.
Yeah.
No score. So in Brent's favour that nothing came of that, but for Manchester. But again, for Manchester, time to...
Did that last free throw go in? Yeah, it did, didn't it? They've just not put the point on yet.
Oh.
I think that's right.
I was paying attention.
Yeah, I'm sure it went in. I think I'm just... Because I've put the point on, and I'm sure it went in.
So I learned this last week from Isha. They'll have to wait after the timeout to put the point back on the board. Yeah. So I caused that confusion. Sorry.
No.
Something did come of that from Manchester.
Yeah.
They did get a point from the second free throw.
Yeah.
But 10 seconds taken off the clock is
exactly what you want.
Yeah,
exactly what you want. That works out really well for them.
So for Brent, again, same situation. Just need to get something off quickly.
Yeah.
Coach Kenrick Liebert in his second season as head coach for the Brent Bulls. A really experienced coach, having been the head coach of GB under-16, under-18s women in the past. Assistant coach with the GB under-20s women. Let's see what he's drawn up here.
I'm still confused. I've not put that point on. Should I take it off? I can't. I'm just going to take it off.
Should we take it off and
I'll
put
take
it
it
on?
off.
So, oh no, she missed. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the play-by-play. She did miss two.
She missed two.
Yeah,
I
it looked.
thought it went in.
It looked like it. It must have been.
I was preemptive. I'm so sorry.
Should we go to Specsavers? Hannah?
Yeah, I think I really do.
So Accra inbounds. Watkins has Cleary going against Idowu. Scoop layup stops the clock, and that's going to put Cleary at the line. So it is an 8-point Manchester lead. Lindsay Cleary at the line has a chance here for two. Only took a second and a half off the clock.
I think if that was me, if I was Remy, I'd have just kind of let her go, let her score it.
Let it kind of run down.
Yeah, just let it, so we get the ball back and then you can just run it down.
So first free throw is good for Cleary, takes her up to 35 points.
I mean, if there's anybody you want shooting your free throws at this point in the game, it's definitely Lindsay.
I'd have her taking any shots.
Yeah, just pass her the ball constantly.
2 of 2 from the line, 36 points for Cleary. Brent will foul and put Khalil back at the line. And again, just taking seconds off the clock here. And this is sometimes when it becomes a bit of a chess
my
match.
Life.
It's a 6-point lead for Manchester.
Have you missed me?
I have. As the first one doesn't go. And second free throw is good for Khalil.
It is 73 now.
So there's that free throw we wanted. Davids racing down the court. That's not going to fall, and Aboado will dribble it down, and a big win for Manchester over the second-placed Brent Bulls, 73-66. Manchester's second highest scoring game so far of the season, holding Brent to just 66 points, a team that averaged 75.5. And a really strong performance from Manchester there, able to withstand the Brent comeback. They went up 16. Brent pulled it back to a single possession game, and a really strong performance there from the Mystics.
It really was. I think this, for them, is the game of the season for them. I think everything that they've been working towards has really brought them up to this moment. And you can see everything that they've been working on in training has now come back. And I just think they should be really proud of this.
Absolutely, that's a big win for Manchester. And for you, Hannah, so Lindsay Cleary, obviously a massive impact for Brent. What did you make of her game today?
Oh, she was outstanding. I think, her offensive game is just fantastic. She's really such a high scoring, 36 points obviously, but she's just so clinical with the way she attacks the basket, and she can read the game so well. She's a fantastic player, and I think she's managing to kind of really show what we missed out on in the cup.
Yeah.
And I think it's great to see. And yeah, she's had a great game today.
And for Brent as well, who else really started? I mean, Vanessa Accra, she just seemed like she was just all over the board.
She really was. Finished on 10 rebounds and 10 points. She had such a strong defensive performance. And I think, she was brilliant.
She was fantastic. And for Manchester,
yeah, I mean,
it's a real all-round team performance, wasn't it?
Absolutely. You had Ellie Costa on 16 points. I'm just checking my stats. Yeah, mine are correct. 16 points. Kizzy coming off the bench with 13 points.
And Kizzy Spence hitting that really big three.
Yeah, really great performance from her. And 12 rebounds from Success. I mean, I just think, like we said at the beginning, they really stepped up. We knew it was going to be a physical game. We knew they were going to have to compete on the board. And I think for them, they really showed that today. And I think I'm going to have to say it. I think my player of the match, and I know the stats don't show it, but he's definitely Faith Lloyd. I think for her, she has a plus of minus of 9. It was 14 at one point in the game, but I just think for her, she just played her heart out, and I think she's really come out of her shell. She's been aggressive. She's been really reading the game a lot better, and she's had an outstanding performance today.
She really has. A massive 10 rebounds for her, and like you said, just had a great impact for such a young player as she is, to come out against one of the top teams in the league and have that kind of performance.
Exactly. And I think as well, that's what's so great about Manchester. I mean, I think Rob would disagree with me in this sense, but I think sometimes you just don't know what's going to happen with them. You just don't know when some player might just come on and have a worldie of a game. And that's what I actually love about this team, is that, you know, it's not that there's, you know, obviously we have our Rahana, we have Irene, but there are those players on the team that have that ability and have that skill, and they can just come on and just really have a fantastic impact on the team.
Definitely. And Isabel Robinson as well, we saw off the bench, 6 points for her, along with 4 rebounds, a couple of steals and an assist. And for Manchester now, so they go and travel to Cobham and play the Cobras next Saturday away, and then they'll be back home against the Loughborough Riders. But after the positive loss last weekend and the positive win this weekend, that's going to put them in a really good stead, isn't it, going towards the end of the season?
Yeah, it really is. And I think for them now, it's just about kind of, you know, as a coach, it's always, you don't know whether to go strategic with it when you're kind of questioning your placement in the tables about, you know, if we're going for, do you want to go for 8th, 7th or 6th? You know, where is it those positions? Because you know then you're going to have to play against one of those top teams. Now, coming into this, off the bat of beating Brent, who you know are going to finish in one of those top 3 positions, it feels a bit more comfortable, and it feels a bit more, you feel a bit more confident. So I think, it's just going to be all the way, hopefully it's just going to be straightforward for them for the rest of the season.
So that win, Manchester coming into this game at 7-9 in 7th place, and that win is going to take them up to 16 points, level with Bristol and Loughborough, although Loughborough did win today, so that's Loughborough on 18, so they're level with Bristol. So just check the standings when they've been updated. But they, you know,
Monday morning, that's what I'm at. Literally my routine. A coffee in the morning and check the standings, league standings.
But Manchester moving up there, and 8 wins today takes them tied with 8 wins last season, so which is what you want to see as an improvement.
Definitely.
And for Brent, so they will play Ipswich in a rematch of the National Cup next Sunday, the 23rd of February, and I'm pretty sure that's going to go. It's going to be a very different game to the one we saw in the National Cup, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm definitely. I'll be definitely watching that one.
So the final score from here in Manchester, the Manchester Mystics 73, Brent Bulls 66. Thanks to everyone who's joined us live on the Magic and Mystics YouTube channel. We'll be back on March the 1st against the Loughborough Riders at 5:30. So come down to the Manchester Basketball Centre, support the team, and if not, you can catch the game live on the YouTube channel. So from myself, Kaz Bullock, and from Hannah Alty, thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much.
And we'll see you next time, and we'll have Isha doing a scoreboard for us. But you did an awesome job, Hannah.
Thank you. I tried.
So thank you again to everyone who's joined us. We'll see you next time.